to Germany. And Chicago columnist Bob Greene is fired because of an affair with a 17-year-old girl 14 years ago. Is that fair? Caution, you're about to enter a no-spin zone. Factor begins in 90 seconds.
Tough words for Israel. Hello, everyone. I'm Donna Fiducia. And the Bush administration wants Israel to end its siege on Yasser Arafat's compound. And at the UN right now, they are deadlocked on a resolution demanding that Israel withdraw from the area. All but one building has been demolished, leaving Arafat and 200 others trapped inside. Palestinians claim that building is in danger of collapsing. The siege began 5 days ago after back-to-back homicide bombings killed 7 people. Meantime, more than 1,000 Palestinians defy the Israeli army and break curfew. They've taken to the streets of Ramallah to show support for Yasser Arafat. Kids threw stones at Israeli troops who responded with stun grenades. No deaths or injuries reported. Well, Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld says the U.S. is not aiming to act alone against Iraq. In Poland for a NATO meeting, he said America isn't pushing for unilateralism when it comes to ousting Saddam Hussein. Rumsfeld says the goal is to disarm Iraq. Get a load of this. An emergency landing at LAX today after an American Airlines MD-80 bound for Chicago hit a flock of birds. It happened shortly after takeoff from San Diego. The captain reported possible damage to the plane's nose, then circled LAX to burn off the fuel because MD-80s cannot dump their fuel. We'll see you in about 30 minutes with an update. I'm Donna Fiducia. O'Reilly Factor's next on Fox.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. Well, we were hoping to have O.J. Simpson for you this evening, but he decided against entering the no-spin zone. We'll talk with his latest lawyer about what his beef is with the Factor tomorrow. The Talking Points memo this evening is about my close encounter with Martha Stewart. Over the weekend, I was out in Aspen, Colorado, attending a conference, and if ever a place needed a dash of no spin, it's Aspen, a beautiful town with a somewhat unrealistic attitude. Anyway, who is also at the conference? Hi there, Martha Stewart. And believe me, if she had been making pudding when she spotted me, it would have been on my head. Simply put, Martha doesn't like me, and I don't blame her, because I want Miss Stewart to pay a price for her insider trading deal. One footnote, all Americans are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But based on the evidence we've seen, I firmly believe that Ms. Stewart sold her shares of ImClone based upon inside knowledge of what indicted CEO Sam Waksal was doing. And my job as a news analyst is to make those determinations. However, there's no question that Ms. Stewart retains many admirers, and one of them challenged me in Aspen. The woman asked me why I was so critical of Martha. I replied that, in my opinion, she's greedy. And somebody had to buy the shares she sold, somebody that didn't have the information she had. The woman said, quote, "We're all greedy." Well, that may be, I replied, but some of us fight it. The woman then went on to make the argument that the Clinton defenders embraced, that there are a lot worse people, and Ms. Stewart, what she did doesn't rise to the level of an Enron or a Global Crossing or a Tyco, and that's true. But you don't excuse bad behavior by pointing out something worse. That's a lame tool used by children. If you make a mistake, own up to it. And that was my final point to Martha's pal. If she had owned up to the situation, apologized, and accepted the light punishment she would have gotten, the story would be dead, and she herself would have gained some respect. We all make mistakes. In the heat of the moment, many of us might have done the same thing that Ms. Stewart is accused of. Human nature dictates the easy way out. But no, Martha thumbed her nose at Congress, denied everything, even though there's a phone call trail and broker testimony that implicates her, and she's generally been defiant. Maybe in the end she'll be vindicated and I'll have to apologize, but I doubt it. Ms. Stewart and all the other insiders that profit from stuff that regular folks can't get, they deserve no sympathy when they go down. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight. What will happen to 4-year-old Martha Toogood, the little girl beaten by her mother? Joining us now from South Bend, Indiana, is Chris Toth, the prosecutor in the case. One footnote, we'll only run the video of the incident one time. I think most of us have seen it quite enough. All right, Mr. Toth, we understand the little girl is in foster care now. Describe that situation for us.
That's correct. Child Protective Services has placed her with a family in the area where she's safe and secure.
She must be devastated. At first she gets pummeled, and then she gets taken away from her mom and dad.
It's a horrible situation for her. As tough as the video was for me to say, the time I spent with Martha a couple days ago was even more difficult and gut-wrenching because she's been through a lot already. Obviously, a very bad thing happened to her, and then she has to turn around and be put through what's got to be a very emotional and tough situation for this four-year-old
Sure, because
girl.
as you know and I know, people who have dealt with children in situations that are dangerous and neglectful, even a bad parent forms a bond with the child. The child doesn't know what a good parent and a bad parent is, and mommy and daddy are mommy and daddy. And when you take a kid away, even if the parent's dangerous to them, the child doesn't understand.
That's clear, and it's clear that Martha didn't understand what was going on, and that is what is so sad about this whole thing. It's a tragedy from the beginning, and it's unfortunately a little girl is in the middle of it, and that's why this is such an important case, and any child abuse case is so important, because these little children are so vulnerable and so trusting, and for them to have to go through this is inexcusable.
Now, some people will say the state makes it worse by taking Martha out of the house, putting her in with strangers, and now she's being punished twice. How do you answer that?
Well, we all saw the video, and it all pained us, sickened us to watch that. And clearly there is a dysfunction going on here in a mother-child relationship. And we've got to remember that this is all about protecting a little child. The worst thing we could do is release Martha back to a family member where she could conceivably still have contact with the mother and face this situation again. Now, I'm not saying that could happen, but one of the reasons we have these policies is that's what's happened in the past. Children have been taken from an abusive parent. They are returned to a family member that allows that parent access, and something very bad happens to the child.
Right.
So I think it's a very sound policy. We want to make sure
the state has
that
to
this
protect.
child's going to be safe.
Sure, the state has to. Now, when you talk to Martha, is she crying all the time? Is she depressed? What's her state of mind?
I talked to her 2 days ago. She's a sweet little girl. She was very shy. I think she sensed that something was going on. We got her a Happy Meal. We tried to make her feel comfortable with the whole situation. But it's clear that this is just a very tough thing for a little 4-year-old girl to have to go through.
Does the foster parents say that she cries at night, or is there anything that does she have counseling? Has somebody coming in there to evaluate her?
Well, Child Protective Services is seeing to it that she receives a whole array of emotional and psychological support that will be ongoing. Obviously, they face this situation all the time, and they understand the child is going to be facing a very difficult situation emotionally, and they do a good job in tending to a little girl like Martha's needs.
All right, so she has a support system now around the clock, right?
She does, yes.
Okay. Now, the parents. We haven't seen a father at all. I mean, if I'm the father, I'm out there. I'm standing right next to you right now, counselor. You know what I mean? I'm the father. I'm standing right next to you. I'm saying, look, I'm going to protect my little child. I'm going to take this situation. We haven't seen this guy. Where is he?
Well, the father did arrive with Martha. It's clear that he had a bond with Martha. Obviously, if I was a father of this child, I would be very concerned myself about what happened to this child. But obviously, it's very difficult when you're a family member. Our only concern in that regard is we can understand why a family member might want to protect Madeline Toogood, but we were very disturbed at the lack of cooperation provided by the family in helping us to locate her. Had it not been for the national media and the exposure this case got, I really believe we
they would have split.
would have found her anytime soon.
That's right, because she has driver's licenses in 4 states, and she dyed her hair. I mean, this woman was obviously on a run. Now, we find out she got 4 or 5 vehicles worth a couple of $100,000. What's that all about?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
We find out she's got 4 or 5 vehicles worth a couple of $100,000. Do you know what that's about?
I'm not sure what it's about in this particular situation. I mean, we're still investigating this case. It meets the profile of individuals who are called Irish travelers, and Madeline Toogood's own attorney has indicated that they consider themselves to be a part of that group. They are often involved in the type of business that does home improvement work.
Yeah, but I mean, is it true? We know all that, but is it true she got a Mercedes-Benz and she got the big Toyota SUV? She's got a lot of money tied up in vehicles, no?
It seems like that, but it's one of the things that is very reflective of the Irish traveler lifestyle.
Any permanent residence that you know of? Any house?
Well, the typical profile of these individuals is that they may use one geographic location for a home base, but they travel throughout the summer and fall when the weather is good. Usually it's the men and young boys as young as 10. And sometimes the women travel with them. So it's a very secretive, clannish society. It's very difficult to figure out exactly how they operate.
But you're checking them out. Obviously, she has a criminal record, so some minor theft bust in Texas. But you're not going to release the little girl till you know what the whole picture is, right?
That'll be determined by the judge who is in charge of this case. He's a good judge, and I'm sure he's going to do the correct thing. And the thing at this point is before she's released to any family member, Child Protective Services will ensure that that would be a safe environment for her if that's possible at all.
All right, Mr. Toth, we appreciate your candor. Thanks very much, and keep us posted, please.
You're welcome.
Next on the rundown, a father is negligent, leaving a baby in a scalding car. The baby dies. You will not believe what has happened to that father. Right back.
Hey, hand me that there,
Wrench?
yeah. Oh! What do you think? I got that insurance or something?
What?
It puts money in your wallet in case you're like flat on your back.
What? Never heard of it.
Well, you can get it at work.
Get what?
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
To Nissan, it's a fusion of performance, styling, and innovation. To 50 renowned automotive journalists, however, it's an aphrodisiac. Presenting the Nissan Altima, 2002 North American Car of the Year.
I miss you. I miss the sound of your voice, our late night conversations. No one knows you like I know you. I've tried to call, but there's no answer. But I'm ready to try again. If you are. Love always. God.
Our hearts, our minds, and our doors are always open. The people of the United Methodist Church.
For powerful digital imaging systems that are race car fast and handle so well they can pump out up to 105 pages a minute. Think inside the box. Think Savin.
Introducing Real-Time Racing. Live video and audio streaming from America's best tracks. Find out more about Real-Time Racing. Go to foxsports.com on Lycos. Keyword horse racing.
Children at Risk segment tonight, another dubious example of justice in America. 9-month-old Tyler Costello is dead after his father, Todd, left him in a sweltering car for 3 hours. He said he forgot about the baby. A Medina, Ohio grand jury has declined to prosecute Mr. Costello as a free man. But in the same town outside of Cleveland, 23-year-old Donnie Pennington is charged with child endangerment after allowing a 2-year-old to play outside unsupervised. The child was not injured. So what's going on here? Joining us now from Cleveland is Don Pennington's attorney, Mark Aboud. All right, Counselor, what's your reading on why the other guy, Costello, walked, didn't get charged?
Great question, Bill. Good evening, by the way. As to what happened with Mr. Costello, that incident resulted in an individual passing away, a dead baby, which quite honestly is a very tragic situation for the family, the investigators, the police, friends, relatives, obviously. What that causes is that to be charged as a felony or considered a felony, which then goes to the grand jury for the county of Medina. And what happens is then the grand jury examines the evidence that's presented by the county prosecutor. They interview witnesses, they have testimony presented, and based on all those facts, they determine whether that individual committed a crime or whether it's possible that they committed the crime and whether that was the individual involved.
We know what the grand jury system is. So they wouldn't want to indict him on a felony because they thought it was an accident.
Right.
All right, Costello didn't even testify. Costello didn't even testify.
Right. Right. Unfortunately, with my situation with Mr. Pennington, he was charged simply by a police document. He did not have an opportunity to present any evidence. There was no injury, which creates it which
Because
turns it
so
into
he's charged with a
misdemeanor.
misdemeanor, so he doesn't have to
That's
go in
correct.
front of a grand jury.
That's
All right, look,
correct. No grand jury.
I don't have any
Simple
sympathy for
charging
your
document.
guy. I know this case. We investigated it, and your guy basically fell asleep, and a 2-year-old walked out the door and is wandering around. A neighbor called the cops. The cops came in, charged him with endangerment. He was wrong. He's going to get convicted. He'll pay a fine or whatever. He didn't do it on purpose, your guy. But still, you can't let a 2-year-old out of the house wandering around. You know that, Counselor.
Disagreement as to whether he let this happen or not.
Well, the 2-year-old got out. What is he? What is it? Is a little girl a cat burglar?
Yeah, that's great. What happened in the morning was it was a 7 a.m., 8 a.m. in the morning. The child was looking for his mother, which is a very small apartment. The door is just steps away from the front door or the bedroom door is just steps away from the front door of the apartment, and he wandered steps outside. It was very momentary.
Yeah, but you got to make sure the door is secure so the babies can't get out. You know that.
Well, this is the apartment that this in has the handicap accessible doors.
Put a desk in front of it. Put anything in front of it. Look, Counselor, I'm not going to try the case on television. I'm saying I saw the thing. Your guy's guilty. He's going to pay a little fine, and that's it. But the bigger question is, do you believe there's hypocrisy here in the prosecutor's office because they didn't get the felony when the baby's dead, yet they're rousting your client for, you know, as you said, the child wasn't even harmed, but it was negligent. Do you think there's hypocrisy?
No, I don't think it's hypocrisy. There are two different bodies determining this.
Are you happy with this?
With which case? With
Costello walking and nothing happened to him?
Certainly not. I believe that the grand jury has set a standard as to what the community will tolerate by way of
it's outrageous.
An incident.
It's outrageous. So now anybody who leaves a little kid in the back can say, oh, I forgot. You know, if I forget to pay my taxes, Counselor, and if you forget to pay yours, we're in a lot of trouble here. Can't walk into the IRS and say, we forgot. Yet there's a baby dead, the guy walks, and it's ridiculous.
Certainly tragic. No one would wish this.
It's not tragic. It's criminal.
I have not been in a situation where I could forget a small child like that.
That's
However,
right.
I wasn't in that situation, and I have never been put in that situation.
Something going wrong in Medina, Counselor. Let us know what happens to your client. You know, he's going to get convicted. It's not going to be a big deal on it, but he should have.
I disagree with that.
I know you do, but you don't let a little kid get out of the apartment, okay? A 2-year-old, you put a desk in front of the door or something.
To the trial.
You got to be
proactive.
All right, next, the shocking story. Guess who sold Saddam Hussein materials for making a nuclear weapon? Hey, Germany, we're looking right at you in a moment.
This thing was awesome. The world's first 60-inch plasma HD TV from Zenith. An epic experience just 4 inches deep. From the high-definition authority, Zenith.
Starting a small business takes a burning entrepreneurial spirit, a singular bold vision, the courage to fight an endless uphill battle. But that's not all you need. Oh, no.
I need some furniture.
Not to mention the tools to manage your cash flow. That's why you need the Visa business card, because Jules Seltzer Furniture, like many other places, doesn't accept any card from American Express.
I love these chairs.
Visa Business, it's everywhere you want to be. Get started at Visa.com.
I knew my husband wasn't at his office, but I didn't know he was at the World Trade Center.
When we saw the second plane, well, you can imagine.
I was 9 months pregnant.
The terror.
After my husband died, I put my house on the market.
So we decided to ask our customers to make their deposit directly to the September 11th fund.
I'm still in my house, I'm happy to say, and I owe that to the people that sent contributions. I can keep my house. That's an amazing thing.
It happens every October. Sports' biggest month of the year takes flight. Fortunes are turning. Momentum is shifting. October's magical matchups only on Fox.
Historically, small business owners and tradesmen have had few options when choosing a company vehicle. Thankfully, times have changed. Introducing Sprinter, Freightliner's exciting new way to get work done. Its 3 wheelbases and 2 rooflines make it flexible. Its Mercedes turbocharged diesel engine makes it powerful and efficient, with 10,000-mile service intervals and 22 miles per gallon. To learn more about what Sprinter can do for you, call Portland Freightliner at 503-382-8166 or go to sprinterus.com.
Hi, Pam Paulette at City Liquidators Furniture Warehouse, where we have a huge selection of leather in every color, like this yellow contemporary sofa, $9.99, or this cherry red sofa at $6.88, or this Italian beauty, only $9.99. And if red's not for you, what about baby blue at $9.88? City Liquidators saves you money with direct containers from Italy, like this Italian sofa at $11.99. City Liquidators, family owned since 1977.
The Unresolved Problem segment tonight, German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder has been reelected by just a few votes. And there's no question he would have lost if not for the far left, which rallied to him after he said Germany would not help the United States remove Saddam Hussein. In my opinion, Germany has some nerve because according to an investigative report called Stealing the Fire, that country is largely responsible for supplying that nuclear technology that President Bush fears to Iraq. With us now is a co-producer and co-director and correspondent for the report, Eric Nadler. He put it together along with John Friedman. All right, you found out that a company called Degussa in Germany, right, still operated for 50, 60 years, sold Iraq what?
Sold Iraq centrifuge components. And a centrifuge is a uranium enrichment device that is very, very sensitive. And only a few countries in the world have the capability to put together a centrifuge program. One of those countries is Germany. Western technology from Germany flowed from Germany to Iraq with the help of Degussa Corporation, other German corporations, and a German spy ring.
When did this happen?
This happened in the late 1980s.
All right, the late 80s. So they got this centrifuge stuff. What can you do with this?
What you can do is you can put together cascades of centrifuges underground and use it in a way which is undetectable, energy efficient. It's the cheapest, safest, most undetectable way to enrich uranium for the guts of nuclear weapons.
All right, but you can also use it for nuclear power, correct?
Yeah, I don't think Saddam Hussein is...
No, I know you don't think it, but it's possible.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to go in the possibility. All right, so Germany, through this company Degussa, sells all this stuff in the late 80s to Saddam Hussein. In early 90s, Israel knocks out their atomic reactor, okay, flattens it. And then weapons inspectors go in after the Gulf War. Possible that they got all this stuff?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the Iraqi record of complying with the demands of the UNSCOM and UN investigators is very spotty. And it's quite probable that the centrifuge program is continuing today. In fact, the Bush administration, in making its weapons of mass destruction brief against the Iraqis before the speech at the United Nations last week, the Sunday Times indicated that aluminum components used for the centrifuge were currently flowing into Iraq.
From Germany again?
Origin unknown.
Okay, so they didn't spot Germany on it. Now, Schroeder knows all this. He knows that Germany supplied this stuff to Iraq, and it could still be, at least some of it, in use for Saddam Hussein to try to fashion some kind of nuclear weapon, right?
Absolutely. What's most interesting about the whole discussion of the German-U.S. tensions is the failure of the press or the governments involved to mention the assistance to the weapons of mass destruction programs that Hussein gave. This is the great unmentionable topic. Finally, this week, we're beginning to get some movement on this. In testimony before the House Armed Services Committee last week, Gary Milholland, an expert, wonderful fellow from the Wisconsin Project on Nuclear Arms Control, pointed out to the panel that Germany's contribution to Iraqi's weapons of mass destruction program is more than all the rest of the world combined.
And they got paid big money by Iraq for sending this stuff over.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, you see, this makes me furious, and I think everybody watching who cares about the safety of our families here in the United States and all over the world is that you got this guy Schroeder selling us out so he can win an election. He knows the Germans supplied all of this stuff to Iraq. Nobody knows how much Iraq has left and how much the weapons inspectors got and how much they didn't get. But the Bush administration obviously feels that they have enough where they can put together a nuclear weapon in the foreseeable future. Do you, because you investigated this, believe that?
Well, I believe that they've got some of the most classified technology in the world. They have the blueprints for it. They can even sell those blueprints to people we don't like.
Al-Qaeda.
Yeah, that's a definite possibility. What's most interesting about the German example is you had all this activity, corporate activity and also underground activity, take place during the previous administration, the Kohl administration. Right. Kohl gets defeated by Schroeder, and then when Schroeder gets into office, the UN basically hands up to him on a silver platter the name of a spy, a fellow named Karl-Heinz Schaub, a nuclear technician who UN investigators discovered was supplying Saddam Hussein with nuclear technology.
So they actually caught the guy that was giving, and they gave him nothing, right?
Well, that's what our film tells. We covered the trial of Karl-Heinz Schaub, the first man convicted of nuclear espionage and treason in an open court in the West in 50 years.
And what did he get, real fast?
Fined $32,000, 5 years probation, and set free.
Hey, Germany, thanks a lot. Mr. Nadler, I hope your film gets a wide distribution. Stealing the Fire. Thank you very much. It's very important. Plenty more ahead as the Factor moves along this evening. Chicago columnist Bob Greene fired from the Trib for a tawdry affair. It happened 14 years ago. Was the punishment too harsh? And a gay high school student awarded $450,000 because he got harassed on campus. We hope you stay tuned for those reports.
Just because someone said so. So why are you just accepting that as you get older, it's normal to run to the bathroom 8 or more times a day? It isn't. It could be overactive bladder, a medical condition that can interrupt your sleep and your life, even embarrass you. But it doesn't have to. Because once a day, Ditropan XL is clinically proven to help control overactive bladder for 24 hours. If you have certain types of stomach, urinary, or glaucoma problems, you should not take Ditropan XL. In studies, the most common side effect was dry mouth. Other side effects may include constipation, drowsiness, blurred vision, dizziness, diarrhea, and nausea. Talk to your healthcare professional about Ditropan XL. Ditropan XL. There are some things you don't have to accept.
You know the symptoms. No matter what you do, the heartburn keeps coming back.
The burn can stop you in your tracks.
You worry about the risk of long-term problems.
I got help. Learn to handle the disease and the risks in ways that make sense for me.
Call this number now for information and a free kit from Prevacid, a handbook on managing acid reflux disease and its risks, a risk alert profiler, a guide to making the most of your next doctor visit, and a 7-day free trial certificate to use if your doctor decides Prevacid is right for you. Prevacid fights acid reflux disease 3 ways. It beats the burn, helps heal the damage, and best of all, staying on Prevacid if prescribed can stop the damage from coming back. Prevacid has a low occurrence of side effects such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. So if you want the power to manage the risks, heal the damage, and stay healed, call now for your free kit.
Wednesday, watch Target Iraq. America prepares a battle plan against terror. Will we go it all alone? And could Russia be a threat? Plus, from machinery to manpower, is our military ready? And what could we face after an attack? Join hosts Tony Snow and Linda Vester. Wednesday, watch Target Iraq, a Fox News Channel special report at noon Eastern.
Hi, I'm Edie Hill. Tomorrow on Fox & Friends, will the president get an unconditional A-OK from Congress on an Iraq attack? Newt Gingrich speaks out starting at 6 a.m.
The Impact segment tonight, it is a foregone conclusion that Congress will give President Bush the power to remove Saddam Hussein, but 19 members have formed an anti-war coalition. All are Democrats except for our pal Bernie Sanders, who's an independent. Joining us now from Washington is one of the coalition members, California Congressman Bob Filner. Now, you just heard Mr. Nadler say that, you know, Saddam Hussein, the Germans sold him the centrifuge, probably has it. Still, change your mind?
Well, I don't think it adds anything new in information about what Saddam has. It's interesting to show the hypocrisy, perhaps, of the Germans. You might do the American people even better service, Bill, if you showed them how much we gave them in the 80s in terms of their chemical and biological and other weapons.
What good does that do now, Congressman? It's 2002. We've made mistakes throughout our history in many different areas, but I want to protect your family. I want to protect Congressman Filner's family.
I want to protect your
family. If what Nadler
family.
says is true, if what that man says is true, and he has that blueprint and that centrifuge buried, and he could give the blueprint to Al-Qaeda, and he could develop a weapon, as almost every expert says he can, why do you, Congressman, not want to remove him?
Well, I would like to see him disarmed. I think it's a very, very dangerous situation for our moral leadership in the future to take this guy out on our own, without any United Nations sanction, without any world opinion behind us. There's 20 nations, Bill, that have greater capability than this Saddam Hussein has. Are we going to next then take out Iran and North Korea and Pakistan and India? Where does this stop? We need to use the United Nations inspectors. Let's ferret out those materials. Let's destroy them, and let's then live in a safer world.
Look, we've been playing this game with him for a long time, and now we live in a totally different world than we did in the mid-'90s, all right? And you said something very interesting. Are we going to tolerate Iran and North Korea and all these? And I believe we're not, if they're tied into terrorist activities. I believe the president's mandate is to protect the United States against terrorism. Now, Now, are you going to dispute, Congressman, that Saddam Hussein is sympathetic and has strong ties to worldwide terrorism? Are you going to dispute that?
No, but what I would dispute, Bill, is that we have been told for a year now, and we have supported the president, that our focus must be on battling terrorism. That is what our job has to be.
Yeah, but that's what he's doing.
If we go after Hussein, if we take out Hussein and focus there, we are, in fact, weakening our battle against terrorism.
How? Well, you're taking out a tyrant who is very intertwined with worldwide terrorism. How would you...
The worldwide fight against terrorism, Bill, requires worldwide coalition that the president has built up.
But if you don't get it, if you don't get the worldwide coalition, Congressman, we just showed you what hypocrites the Germans are. How that they are not going to help the United States because of one man, Gerhard Schroeder, puts his political fortunes above the security of the world. We just proved it. Yet you're still pounding the drum that we have to have worldwide cooperation. It's insane. There are a lot of people who hate you, Congressman. They hate me. They hate all Americans. They're not going to cooperate. Now, it has been proven time and time again. You know who Abu Nidal is, right? Abu Nidal, you know who he is?
Well, he's not anymore, but
right.
Yes, I know
okay, where was he living when he died?
I forget. Germany?
Baghdad, okay? And he died 2 weeks ago. You should remember that, and you should know it. All right? Because this is just, once again, a demonstration that Saddam Hussein and terrorism are like that. Are like that.
If that were the case, Bill, then the president would have informed the whole American people. He would have formed the Congress. We have had no such information. We have had no such ties. Listen, we got to disarm this guy. We've got to reduce his threat to the world. The unilateral attack at this time weakens us and weakens the world in our battle against terrorism.
Well,
and we haven't been told, Bill, we haven't been told, you keep saying, let's just go in and take them out.
No, I don't. I say work through the United Nations and put a very stringent, I say work through the UN, put a very stringent regulations on Saddam Hussein. Unfettered, right now, and then if he doesn't do it, we go.
We're together on that. But we have to work through the United Nations.
Yeah, he is. But in the meantime, he's preparing... He's preparing to do what has to be done in case either the UN or Saddam don't cooperate.
He is preparing in a way which says, I don't care really what the constitutional powers I have. Look, if we pass,
he's gonna get
if we pass that resolution,
I know it.
If we pass that resolution that he gave us, if we pass that resolution that he gave us, we are giving up our constitutional powers to declare war.
We'll let everybody decide. We appreciate your time as always. We'll be right back with Bob Green in a moment.
Madeline Toogood gets her day in court. I'm Donna Fiducia. And the mother caught on tape beating her daughter at a store parking lot faces the music in an Indiana courtroom. Jeff Goldblatt has the latest from South Bend.
She has faced questions from the media, from police, and now from a judge. The mother caught on surveillance video beating her 4-year-old daughter was arraigned in an Indiana court on felony battery to a child. Toogood's attorney entering a plea of not guilty. If a plea deal cannot be reached, Madeline Toogood's attorney says this case will then head to trial, but that in all probability his client will enter a guilty plea and throw her mercy upon the court. The attorney's hand forced by a surveillance video that leaves little to the imagination. In South Bend, Indiana, Jeff Goldblatt, Fox News.
High drama on the highway ends tragically. An armed man forced his former girlfriend to drive from Raleigh, North Carolina into Virginia with a gun to her head. When they finally pulled over, police say the man shot and killed the woman, then ran into the woods and killed himself. The two children who had been in the car were released unharmed. Police say the man was also shooting at drivers along the interstate. With another update coming your way at the top of the hour, I'm Donna Fiducia. The O'Reilly Factor continues next. Bill taking a look at a gay teenager who sued his school. It's coming up next on the Fox News Channel.
I put in my time in Vietnam, but I wasn't the only soldier there. There was another soldier, Christy Lane.
Christy Lane has touched the hearts of millions through her beautiful singing of One Day at a Time. I'm only human. Now she brings you 47 all-time favorites. I'm just a woman. Songs of faith and inspiration. Help me believe in what I could be and all that I... Truly two great albums, One Day at a Time and Footprints. One set of footprints. Call now and save over 50% on this priceless collection. Lord, you promised me you'd hold my hand. I believe in angels. Something good in everything I Songs of comfort and strength. In his hand, he's got the whole wide world. In his hand, he's got... Oh, Danny boy. The pipes are calling from glen to glen. Call now for this special offer. The mountain, just a closer walk with thee. One day at a time, sweet Jesus. I'm only human. I am a woman. I believe in angels. Over 2 hours of beautiful singing by Christy Lane on 2 CDs or 2 cassettes for the special price of $12.99 plus shipping. Or mail your check to Christy Lane, Madison, Tennessee. Call 1-800-317-4411.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in a personal story segment tonight. Private life, public humiliation. For 24 years, Bob Greene was a high-profile writer for the Chicago Tribune, and he's authored also 14 books, some of them extolling the virtues of traditional America. But 14 years ago, when Greene was 41 years old, he had an affair with a 17-year-old girl whom he met on the job. The discovery of the affair led to Greene being fired. The question, is that fair? Joining us now from Chicago, Steve Rhodes, the media critic for Chicago Magazine. So what say you about this case, Mr. Rhodes?
Well, I think it's absolutely fair that Bob Greene lost his job over this. I mean, a 17-year-old high school student comes to him for help with a high school paper, and in some sequence of events, he takes her out to dinner, puts her in his column, and at some point seduces her. And I don't see why there should be any debate at all. I think perhaps the Tribune hasn't explained themselves very well, and that's raised some questions in some people's minds. There's still a lot of details we don't know.
Okay, now, the girl was legal in the state of Illinois. They can't prosecute Greene for doing this. It happened 14 years ago, and nothing was said by the girl until last week, I think. I mean, you know, it's very strange. And strictly on a legal perspective, Greene really didn't break any laws here. Yet his whole livelihood is taken away. And it wasn't a quid pro quo. He didn't say, look, have sex with me and I'll put you in a paper. From the investigation, he did a column on her, and then they fooled around. Now, believe me, I'm not justifying Greene's conduct, all right? 41-17, hey. But, and let's just talk legal first, not moral. We'll get into moral later. Legal.
Right.
Could he sue and say, look, I didn't break any law, you know, this was an indiscretion, but it didn't do anything to the paper, and I have a private life, and I'm free to do it. I'm an American.
Well, he could make that argument, but I think significantly he hasn't made that argument. He offered to resign, and the paper didn't accept that resignation for a couple of days. I mean, look, he didn't break a law she was of age as far as we know. But as you've kind of pointed out, this isn't about a legal standard. The Chicago Tribune is not charging him with a crime. This is about an ethical standard. And we don't know if there was a quid pro quo. I mean, we don't know what was going on. I mean, we could speculate. We're not sure what...
Our information is the column ran before the affair. I think that she has confirmed that. So
that's true, but that could have been part of the seduction as well. I don't know if that
yeah, I mean, look, but again, if that's true, then he's gone. Because you can't do that. You can't put somebody in the paper on television and then get a favor from them for doing it. I mean, he's out. But I'm assuming that this was kind of a Green liked what he saw, was nice to the girl, wrote a nice column on her, and they said, hey, you know, I got a shot at this, I'm going to go for it. And look, as I said before, I mean, it's despicable behavior. But I'm trying to say, you know, look, you got Clinton and Monica Lewinsky, okay? And you got, what, 4 years difference there? 4 years different. You see what I'm talking about here? I'm not sure. I don't know why the Chicago Trib, which didn't call for the resignation of President Clinton, so outraged about Bob Greene. Do you see any difference there? Is it 4 years or what?
Well, I think there's a great deal of difference between what Bob Greene did and Bill Clinton. I mean, this was a high school student, for one thing. I mean, that makes all the difference in the world.
Still legal, still legal. You know, Monica Lewinsky was an intern. You know, maybe the girl was smarter than Monica. I don't know. But there's not that big an age difference, deal. You see what I'm talking about here?
Sure, and that's an argument plenty of people have raised and brought up. But you know, to go through the legal process of impeaching a president and removing him from office is far different than deciding that you're...
How about the criticism? You see, I mean, Greene is being hung out to dry, and look, I don't feel sorry for the guy. Although I don't think I would have fired him. What I would have done was suspended him for 6 months without pay, because basically Greene's destroyed now. He's dead. He's finished.
Well, I don't think that's the case at all. People in Chicago don't think it's going to be too long before he's back. I don't think his career's over by a long shot.
Sun-Times going to hire him?
Well, perhaps if he writes a front-page mea culpa. I mean, there's always the Oprah confessional in the book and the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't think his career is over by a long shot. But let's pretend that you did suspend him, and he's still there. I mean, here's a guy. Would high school professors or high school teachers be afraid to send their students to him?
Yeah. They would. They would.
Well, you can't have a guy in your newsroom who you have to guide the high school tour.
Whoa. You know, then you're going to have to clean out a lot of newsrooms. I mean, because Greene's at sleeves. But don't tell me that there's a lot of guys that haven't done what he's done. And worse. There are. I mean, come on. You know the media business and the showbiz business and the entertainment business.
I'm not so sure with high school students, but there's another factor to this, which is that given the kind of column that he writes about these wholesome all-American values and pines after the lost innocence of the 50s and protect the children, he renders himself ineffective. I mean, any credibility he had, who could take him seriously after this? So maybe if he wrote a different kind of column, maybe if there were other circumstances.
Yeah, if he wrote about Hollywood, maybe he could do it.
Yeah, well, then maybe he could have kept his job.
He and Roman Polanski might get together.
That's right.
Or Elvis, if he's still hiding somewhere. Look, the problem I'm having with this is there's a lot of hypocrisy in our society. And Greene deserves to be scorned, and he deserves to be... but I don't know if his life, deserves to be shattered at this extent. You see what I mean? I'm not sure that we kill the guy. You punish him, you humiliate him, and he has been. Do you kill him?
Sure.
Do you kill him?
As I said, I think he's far from dead.
Your magazine going to hire him? You going to hire him?
Well, I don't think we're going to hire him, but if he wanted to write his mea culpa in our pages,
yeah,
I'm
you'd
sure
exploit him.
Pay him.
You wouldn't,
for it,
yeah,
sure.
but you're not going to hire him. See? All right, I could be wrong on this. I mean, maybe he deserves to be hung. Maybe Greene does. I know him. You know, I don't know him well. 17, bad, no excuse for it. Something in me says that I don't want to see the guy just burn for it, but maybe I'm wrong. Mr. Rose, we appreciate your point of view.
All right, thank you.
All right. Upcoming, a gay high school student is roughed up on campus. Wait till you hear how his lawsuit turned out. That's next.
or endless allergies. When seasonal allergies drain your enthusiasm, Allegra can help. Only Allegra has fexofenadine, so unlike many other antihistamines, it won't make you drowsy. And Allegra gives you 24-hour relief. For people 12 and older, side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or back pain. So tune back in. Talk to your doctor about switching to Allegra. Once daily Allegra, real relief for real living.
Wow. I have to call Mother. You should see this place, Mom. So luxurious. Doug must have paid $500 a night.
My wife thinks I spent a fortune on this honeymoon, but I got the room for $99 on Hotels.com. Great deal. 2 clicks, and I had a room.
Save on thousands of hotels worldwide. Hotels.com. The best prices at the best places, guaranteed.
Hey, buddy, what's your name?
Mike.
It's Mike. Best wishes from Paul Gostad. Who reminds you to study hard in school, listen to your parents, clean your room, eat all your vegetables at dinner time, get plenty of sleep.
The new 105.9, The River. First class rock.
This one goes out to the one I love. How do you feel your friends can laugh? Brothers fill the seats, 'cause I'm already gone.
The new 105.9, The River. First class rock.
What if you had the power to get the television channels you've always wanted? Now you do, because our AT&T digital value packages are better than ever. Enjoy more sports, movies, and quality family entertainment than ever before. Plus the hottest new movies and events on pay-per-view. All at a great price that's right for you. Call 1-866-GO-CABLE or visit attbroadband.com. More choice, more value. AT&T Digital Cable. The power is inside.
We've got an incredible collection of shelves, and every one of them is shaped like a gas station. Stop in soon. What's the #1 rule in gas stations? Locations, locations, locations. Watch us grow.
Back at the book segment tonight, as a former high school teacher, I can tell you that sometimes the teasing and hazing can get pretty brutal, especially when a teenager is known to be gay. And so it was for Derek Henkel at 3 different high schools near Reno, Nevada. But Derek fought back, filed a lawsuit that said teachers and administrators failed to protect him from beatings and other harassment, and the school district settled, giving Derek $451,000. He joins us now from San Francisco. All right, so you're going to go next September to American University in Washington, D.C. And right now you're basically just hanging around cleaning up the lawsuit, right?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of work to make sure that people know about this so that what happens to me doesn't happen to other kids in schools across the country.
All right, I want to walk through this. How did the kids know in the high school know you were gay?
Well, you know, there was a lot of harassment prior to me coming out of the closet, but my administrators did something about that. And then when I came out of the closet in my sophomore year, it became really clear that my administrators weren't going to stand up and protect me. And when I came out of the closet, it spread like wildfire through the campus. Like
and I have to tell you, Mr. Henkel, I mean, we don't want any American ever to be tortured or harassed by anyone. But I am going to say again, do not define your sexuality out there, you guys or girls listening, in any way. It's not going to be good for you. Now,
well, you know,
you can debate, let's get your story, and then we can debate the point. All right. So, before you announced that you were gay, people were bothering you, teasing you. For what reason? Are you effeminate in your mannerisms?
Well, you know, I think that kids saw me as effeminate. They didn't see me as the traditional male, and that's where this stuff started. It started at words. It started at sissy.
Sure, and that happens to almost every boy that's effeminate, even if he isn't gay.
That's correct. Right. I think this problem is based on perceived or actual sexual orientation.
Now, Did that offend you? Did that hurt you, devastate you? Because all of us are teased to some extent, some worse than others, obviously.
Yeah, everyone's teased to some extent, but I think what's really clear is that gay kids in this country are going to school, and they're going to school in fear. That was my circumstance as well. According to GLSEN, the Gay, Lesbian, Straight Education Network, 83% of kids in this country, of gay kids in this country, are going to school and hearing epithets up to 20 times a day.
Yeah.
43% of those kids are actually physically attacked on their campuses.
Now, were you physically attacked? Did somebody punch you or do anything about it?
Yeah, I was horribly attacked. I was in the middle of my high school parking lot in one attack where a group of students surrounded me, took out a lasso and said, let's string up the fag and tie him to the back of our truck and drag him down Melrose Highway.
What did the principal do about that?
Absolutely nothing. It took them an hour and 45 minutes to respond once I was able to escape to the students and get into the safety of, or what should have been the safety of a classroom. And then after an hour and 45 minutes when the vice principal got there, she laughed because I was so hysterical that I couldn't recount what had happened to me, because I was, really worked up.
Did they put the rope around you? Did they actually put the rope?
Yeah, they got the neck around they got the rope around my neck 3 different times. And that wasn't the only attack that I faced.
No,
I faced an attack at a third school in front of a school police officer.
Yeah, Mr. Hankel, you don't have to convince me. I know what you went through. I taught high school. I saw what they did. It's awful. All right? And you did the right thing. You filed a lawsuit. You did the right thing. Now, let's get back to the closet deal. You knew that once you pronounced yourself gay, that it wasn't going to go down. You were going to get a lot of flack. Why was the point? Why did you do it?
Well, I think that asking a student to stay in the closet in order to go to school
is
a lot like
asking
an African-American student to paint their skin white in order to go to school. And Bill,
it's an invalid comparison.
Sex. It's not
Mr.
about
Hankel,
sex.
listen to me for a minute.
I wasn't talking about sex on my school campus.
Sure you are.
What I was saying, no, I wasn't. I was saying
you're gay.
that I was gay.
You're talking about sex.
No, there's a difference, I think, between identity and talking about sex. And I wasn't talking about sex.
You're defining yourself in a sexual way, which heterosexuals, look, anybody who does that
that's a good point, actually. Heterosexual students have the opportunity every day to define themselves as heterosexual because it's accepted in our society. Kids kissing in the schoolway and lockers, and I'm not saying that I was
let me
trying
show
to
you
kiss
where you're
students,
wrong. If there's a girl in your high school who says, I'm a heterosexual and I sleep around, she's a slut. She's going to get it, and you know it. All American kids should not do what you did. I'm telling you. Now, that doesn't justify what they did to you. I'm glad you won the money. And I'm glad you did what you did. But I'm telling you, if kids are watching today, do not talk about your sex life because you don't want to go through that.
I think that's horrible, and I think that that's what really, 3,000 kids in this country, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, 3,000 gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender kids kill themselves. And one of the reasons that they're killing themselves is because they're being told that their lives are worth nothing. And when they come out on their high school campuses and when they affirm their identity and when they take steps to develop a positive self-identity,
it gets worse.
It gets
because
worse if
you're
the
never going to
don't
be
do anything
accepted,
about it.
Mr. Hankel. If you think
that
you are, you're
it,
wrong. You will
and
never.
Mr. O'Reilly, I think that if we approach it with that attitude of no one's ever going to be accepted, that probably will be the case. But if we embrace our kids, if we really leave no child behind in this country, and if we do the things that we need to do
You're living in the land of Oz, Mr. Hankel. Okay, we appreciate it. We respect your opinion.
Well, and it's the law. The First Amendment allows kids to be out.
I gotta go. All right.
Thanks so much.
Okay. We'll wrap things up with the most ridiculous items. Some of you know.
Walgreens has thousands of locations across America, from the corner of Elm in Maine to the corner of Montgomery and Pine, to our newest location, Walgreens.com. You can manage your health care on America's healthiest website because America's favorite corner drugstore is now located on the corner of your desk. Register online or come into Walgreens Pharmacy and we'll do it for you. Walgreens.com. Another reason Walgreens is the pharmacy America trusts.
Do you know the warning signs of osteoporosis? Unfortunately, there aren't any. That's why I got a bone density test. It's quick and painless.
Ask your doctor about a bone density test and if Fosamax once weekly is right for you. Fosamax once weekly is for postmenopausal women at risk for or with osteoporosis. It's proven to help reverse bone loss. You should not use Fosamax if you have certain disorders of the esophagus, are unable to stand or sit upright for 30 minutes, have severe kidney disease or low blood calcium. Use with caution if you have stomach or digestive problems. Stop taking Fosamax and tell your doctor if you develop new or worsening heartburn, difficult or painful swallowing, or chest pain, because these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems.
Why wait? Ask your doctor about a bone density test.
Fosamax once weekly, proven to help reverse bone loss.
3, 2, roll your profile. Here's Mike. Cue Britt.
This is a show for people who like politics. We feel like we can give them more of what they're interested in, new information they didn't have before, that you can't get anywhere else. You get a pretty good sense of what happened in the world that day, but you also get analysis and perspective and a special focus on the power struggle in Washington. Fair and balanced is our motto. We're not trying to tell them what we think or how to think. We're simply trying to tell them the news. We are fair and balanced political news.
Time now for the most ridiculous item of the day. TV Guide is out with the 50 sexiest stars of all time, and your humble correspondent is not on the list. And the reason is, I'm not a star. The sexy part is a lock, right? Anyway, our pal George Clooney is tied with Diana Rigg for the #1 spot. Now, we're going to break this tie right here. There is no way on this earth that Mrs. Peel is not sexier than Clooney, even if you are of the female persuasion. Granted, George is not one of our favorite guys, and we would not have put him on the list out of spite over the charity deal. But there is some good news. Dawn Wells, Marianne on Gilligan's Isle, she's on the list. Childhood fantasies rule, and it's not ridiculous. And finally, tonight, the Mail, we heard from many Canadians about our criticism of their government, and most of them agree with us. Dr. Norman Goldstuck, Alberta, Canada. O'Reilly, I watch you on my illegal satellite dish. You are spot on about our military situation being deplorable. Jacques D'Argy, Quebec. Bill, I am a Canadian that has been charged with the offense of having a satellite dish, and they actually seized it from my home. Does this not remind you of Cuba, which is a government Prime Minister Chrétien apparently likes, Mr. D'Argy? Barry Latang, Ottawa. Mr. O'Reilly, I get the privilege of seeing the factor because I have an illegal satellite system. You're correct in saying that socialists are now controlling our government. And controlling is the right word, Mr. Latang. No way dishes should be illegal in a free society. No way. It's an outrage. Kyle Doris, Birmingham, Alabama. Mr. O, you made the statement that selling hard drugs should be considered a violent crime since the buyer could die or become addicted. I'm asking if you think selling guns and tobacco is a violent act. No, I don't, Mr. Doris. Selling illegal guns, of course, is, but not hunting rifles or permitted handguns. As for tobacco, I wouldn't sell it, and I won't buy stock in companies that do. But again, you must compare the poisons. Meth is a lot more potent than a cigar. Robert Begley, New York City. Hey, Bill, since we taxpayers foot the bill for welfare recipients, who pays for their drug rehab? We do, Mr. Begley. In fact, we pay daily for every drug-addicted person in this country in a variety of ways, which is why those people should be forced to undergo coerced rehab. Coley Novak, Newhall, Iowa, as the son of a heroin-addicted mother who fueled her habit with welfare money. I can tell you firsthand that all welfare recipients should be drug tested. People like my mom need help, not handouts. Marcin Madeira, Poland. O'Reilly, I'm a student here and say that the United States has no moral authority to invade Iraq. Remember, it was you that slaughtered the Indians and have destroyed much of the environment. Keep studying, Mr. Madeira. You are bound to come across a lesson that America defeated the Soviet Union in the Cold War, thus giving you the opportunity to watch The Factor and write that letter. Jean-Marc, Barcelona, Spain. Mr. O'Reilly, I used to be a fan, but lately you are suffering from the same illness Mr. Bush has, blind nationalism. And the cure for that is prove us wrong, Mr. Mark. Pam Barrett, Lexington, Kentucky. Watch out, Bill. The Cavuto factor sounds good to me, and he looks better than you. Well, he wears a toupee, Miss Barrett. And factor toupees are available on the website. No, they're not. I'm making all that up. I'm an outrageous guy. www.foxnews.com/O'Reilly. Website, all kinds of stuff. Picture Cavuto with his hair and then without. Also, how about emailing us with some pithy comments? O'Reilly@foxnews.com, O'Reilly@foxnews.com. Name in town all over the world. You guys have been really good about the name in town. Primarily because if you don't put it on there, they just throw it in garbage and I never see it. But put that name in town on there because we want to hear from you. That's it for us today. As always, we thank you for watching The Factor. Radio Factor every day, coast to coast, Westwood 1. Hanny and Combs has got John Ashcroft. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Hope to see you next time. And remember, the spin stops here.
Next on Special Report, the president presses the UN for a new resolution